Alrighty, good morning. Welcome to Nyko's RPG. I'm Jonathan Alvin, your host. I am the GM's guide, and I've been role playing and storytelling for 50 years. And today I've just recently found this out, and I need to make sure I share with everybody. These are gaming permits that are now required for all tabletop role playing games. And you may not be aware of them. They may not even be something that crosses your mind, but it is something you should be aware of because your community may be affected by these new changes in permits because these permissions will provide new value to the game sessions you are involved with, but you need to be aware of them. So now these permits are outlined by the GM's guide, and of course that's my role as a game master's support and assistance tool for everyone. And yes, it's perfectly fine to make the tool joke now because I said it outright. So there we go. The idea here is that these permits I've considered for a while and realized that they sort of are mandatory for effective and fun and enjoyable RPGs. Of course, this may itself cause my authority to be called into question, and I'll be glad to have that conversation with you in the comments section. Speaking of the comment section, if you haven't yet and you are liking the comment that you're seeing, make sure you click down below, hit all the buttons to let everyone know that you are part of our community and therefore be aware of all of our new videos as they become available. Now, I do have to give you a couple of warnings. If you are operating without these permits, you may find yourself in confusing or, at worst, untenable situation where you may want to consider re-beginning your events or at least adding these permissions as we go. The first of these, of course, is the permission to escape the doldrums. Boring is out. Our current world is already exciting, but we need to also realize that there are a lot of routines and ruts that we can get stuck in, and we should give ourselves permission to escape these doldrums. We need to be able to consider alternatives that are outside of our current framework and will give us more opportunities to enjoy ourselves, because that's really what games are all about. We also need to make sure that we allow ourselves to imagine alternatives beyond the ones that we have provided with in our day-to-day lives. Life itself has got the challenges of being routine, difficult to overcome, and it seems impossible to actually get ahead. But in a role-playing game, in a tabletop environment, you can definitely add to your experience by increasing the number of alternatives that you take. There are no limitations to what can be accomplished if you put your mind to it, and it's even more so in a role-playing environment than it is in our physical world. You also have to be able to give yourself permission to just listen to the story. Sometimes there's nothing that a player has to drive to enjoy. And so once in a while, sit back, relax, take in the environment that is being established by your storyteller, and interact when you feel like it, and otherwise just realize and internalize what's going on in the campaign or in the adventures that the storyteller is presenting to you. Next, we should have the permission to operate in an escapist environment. Our world sometimes binds us and locks us into a course of actions that is unenjoyable, unfun, uninteresting, and unchallenging. And so sometimes it's okay to simply step into an alternate reality, an alternate world view that gives you the opportunity to actually escape, try and discover new vistas that you might not have experienced, and allow for the imagination to carry you along into this greater, wider, larger world of possibilities. And perhaps maybe those things will jog loose the challenges that you have in your life and give you back some of the innovation and creativity that you've left behind. This one I probably get in trouble with too. The permission to be messy and disorganized. Our world requires us to be so Johnny on the spot on everything. We have to be on time with the proper equipment, with the proper attitude, with the proper visage. We have all of these things that are obligations that are placed on us. Have, at least for the sake of the period of time that you are involved with your game, to be a little messy, to be a little disorganized, to be a little chaotic, because that willingness to be adaptable and to change with the environment is really essential to what it is to be human. And when we set ourselves up in parametered little boxes and say we must do these things in order to win at life, we take away our ability to be the childlike beings that we are by nature. Essential, most of all, above all the other permissions we've spoken of so far, is permission to be playful and curious. The world is not as flat and mundane and uninteresting as it might seem to be. And if we give ourselves permissions to be curious and to investigate the environment, even if it's only a fictional one, we give ourselves permission to be the creatures of awe and wonder we were as children, and that gives us back the opportunity to be more than what we are when we are in our little boxes on a day-to-day basis. Permission to be playful, it means that we're also kinder to others because we're wanting to enjoy the experience of being with others and working together on projects and considering how the team might operate if we are part of it. I know that a lot of work environments put you in a team setting, but team setting is not what I'm talking about here. I'm speaking of the very concept of taking risks and seeing what might happen when things are done differently. Maybe find out what it's like to be the open and friendly and honest person that you are in private with the people you work with in an environment that is safe and protected. And that would be, of course, the games environment, because everyone is there to draw pleasure from the experience. And it's important, therefore, to always strive to be more vulnerable. And gameplay is the place where that vulnerability is rewarded because the players are individually also in the same environment. So finally, I want to talk about some minor permits. You are permitted, and you should allow yourself permission to laugh, to giggle, to perhaps be unreasonable for a moment or two. Look to the fictional setting as a place to establish perhaps new personality emblems that you would want to have in your actual life that you've never considered before. One of the things that I found is that a person who role plays being brave and role plays being conscientious and considerate starts to manifest those practical applications in their real life because they now become comfortable with the way they feel when they're doing such things. And these permits obviously is a joke. If you watch the whole video and haven't gotten that yet, all of these permits are things that you have to permit yourself. These are not things that anybody can externally impose on you. So the concept of the permit here is really more about giving yourself permission to enjoy yourself and to have fun. And that's really what this is all about. I hope this video has been helpful to you. I hope it gives you a little bit of delight that you have discovered the humor in the idea of permissions. But I'm here Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. and Monday through Thursday at 11 p.m. Pacific. All those times are Pacific, with new information and new insight on role playing, the enjoyment of the experience, and how to make your game sessions better. I'm Jonathan Alvin, the Game Master's Guide, and I will see you in the next one.